Hey, everybody, John and Lance from the bench, mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Lance, have you hit subscribe yet, Lance, so that you get all of the content here on SportsMap HOU? Hit the button, okay? After a lot of speculation, the NBA draft finally happened, and we see Rafael Stone. He took more players that night than the last 8 Rockets drafts.
Wow.
Before we get to it, is this something different for the Rockets? Is this more ownership or Rafael Stone? Because Les Alexander wouldn't let Daryl Morey lose. And Tillman Fertitta obviously will. And he'll do a slow rebuild through draft picks. Is this because of Tillman, or is this because Rafael Stone is going about it differently?
I think it's kind of neither. I think that they're in a completely different situation for Rafael Stone than they were for Daryl Morey. I think once they got to a certain point, Daryl Morey said, okay, our draft picks are always going to be in the 20. We value a player more than we value the pick, and we'll use this as a commodity to get there. The fact is, they're no longer at that point anymore. They're not going to have draft picks in the 20s. They are not a team that is looking to add pieces around a superstar MVP caliber player. Now they can't move away from it, John. They're at the draft pick model. Draft and grow your own. That's where they are. And I think Rafael Stone, frankly, you didn't ask, but I think he did a hell of a job with his draft this year.
Well, let's take a look at it. Jalen Green with the 2nd pick. Alperen Sengun with the 16th. 23rd is Usman Garuba. And Josh Christopher with the 24th pick. Christopher's more of a project. I think we'll see Sengun and Garuba actually contributing, and obviously Jalen Green contribute this year.
I think there's excitement about the fact that the first 2 picks are very young players, and Garuba is a player who is he's got good size, he's got very good length, he's strong, and he is a plus defender. And when you look at the roster, you and I talked about it on the radio, it's not a very good defensive roster, but they are getting a player who I think that they hope can swing between positions, the ability to switch off and defend in Garuba. So I think you got the explosive ticket seller with Jalen Green, who has tremendous scoring potential. With Sengun, you have a guy who is a talented big man who can stretch out on the court and who's a good passer, has good court awareness. But if you look at the talent he played, John, he didn't play against a high level over there in the league where he played. But most analytics, they all said he's really a can't miss. He's not going to flop. There's a very, very low percentage chance that he is not a quality NBA basketball player. Now, what level? We'll find out. But that was good to hear for a guy who is in the middle of the first.
Yeah, and we're going to assume that all guys are going to be here because you never know. Maybe they show out and you use these guys to get better players. We'll see what happens. Mentoring. You've got John Wall, who is a veteran. You got John Wall, who's making so much money. You got John Wall, who I don't know how much he can be on the court because you got to find out what you've got in Kevin Porter Jr. Obviously, you can mix and match and do all kinds of things. Will John Wall be a mentor, or will he be trouble as far as the youngsters that are playing ahead of him?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think, in a perfect world, he would be a mentor. He would be someone who's been there, done that, but at the same time, can really give them an idea of, what it means to be a pro. But the flip side of that is I'm sure he's getting tired of being on ineffective teams and teams that can't go anywhere, and he knows he's not going to be a long-term option here. If they are worried about how he will have an impact on this team, and I haven't heard anything about John Wall being a guy who is bad to, tough to get along with, or a guy who is not going to be professional. I haven't heard that at all. But if there's any concern at all on John Wall's side or the Rockets side, the buyout is always in play. It's going to cost Tillman money, but you could either pay it to him now or pay it to him as he plays and then sits out and plays and then sits out for what will, in all likelihood, be a non-playoff team. And if you can move him, then move him. But don't take on a worse contract like Daryl Morey kept flipping Chris Paul into Russell Westbrook, and then Russell Westbrook got turned into John Wall. Like, don't get worse than Wall.
Yeah.
Stop going backwards.
How is that possible?
I mean, is there a worse contract?
No, no. There's not a worse contract in all of basketball. And thank you. Good. The Rockets did it again. They're number one in worst contracts. Congratulations.